Toisvis roiv begin hein. Kol chad v'chad was speaking late, but roiv. So everyone himself is misupak if he's in the row. So he doesn't know if he is a baki or not. So therefore he'll say, since I don't know if I'm a baki, therefore I am part of the roiv mistam. But kula matir, and therefore everyone is matir. It's mashma chaka the roiv and bekin, but hatia. So it's mashma here that everybody knows what they're doing when it comes to hatia. So Tosfos has two issues with that because in tema damrim based the chagiga basula sheibra. So this basula got pregnant. Mahula kahuna. What about the baby? The baby is a baby kosher for a kohen. So the later on in the Gemara, have a test as to whether a woman's a basul or not. So you sit her on a wine barrel and see if the smell passes through her. So we know that she's a basula, even though that she is pregnant, she's still a basula. And the Gemara doesn't seem to have any issues of immaculate conception or things like that. So mi chayshin and lidish Shmuel. So we have two stads as to whether she can marry Kohen or not. Are we worried about Shmuel? Da'amar yechunan leboel kama be'ilas below dam. So Shmuel says that I can have many beers without dam. So that means that he can do hatia. Oh, dilma ba'ambatia ibra. So this is the idea of artificial insemination as it comes up in the time of the Gemara, where there can be ejaculations of males hanging around in the bath, and then the woman gets into the bath and somehow gets that and is impregnated by it. So, and we masik to Shmuel lo shchiach. So there we say that we're not worried about Shmuel because Shmuel is not shchiach. So if we're saying in our Gemara that roiv bekinens, if most people are a baki, so therefore why are we saying that Shmuel, who's doing hatia, that he is lo shchiach? I also have in the last parak of Nida, Nami Kamar. Shiny Shmuel, the Rav Govrohu, we say that Shmuel has extra power. He's got koyach, roiv koyach of Shmuel. V'ha'amrina and Haka, the roiv bekin. So what's so special about Shmuel? We're saying Shmuel has got these superpowers, but most people are bekin in Atiyah. V'yishlamar de Shmuel haya yachol lebo b'ila gemora she'isha mu'uberesbo. So Shmuel's special power was that he was able to have a bia gemora that the woman will get pregnant from. It's not just a hatiyah stam, but a hatia that she's able to be pregnant from. Below dam, aval behatia ein ishamu beres lachachi. So therefore, by hatia, what people are mostly expert in, ein ishamu beres, and a woman is not pregnated. Lachachi bahahi the chagigi lech lemichosh behatia ele lidishmul. So since in the case where the basula that is pregnant, so therefore, since most people are doing hatia, most people know hatia, but they can't get people pregnant. So therefore, only someone like Shmuel can have the hatia and get her pregnant, and therefore, since it's not shchiach, so the hatia stam is not going to get her pregnant. Therefore, we don't have to worry about Shmuel, and Shmuel is not shchiach. So the Marsha asked the question. So the Tosfos is saying that is in the previous one that they're not a baki m'dashas kriyashma, and that they fear that they're the baki. So why do they explain that way? Because it should just, why does the Tosfos not just say that it's an eino baki is mutter to have the bia, and a baki is also to have the bia. The ilish eino baki mamash kamar. Aval bokin eino turdin, but if he's a baki, he doesn't have tirda, and it's mutter for him to say kriyashma. So why didn't he just answer like that? Easy done. V'imkain al gorcha habrisa the potter kriyashma b'miut kamairi, because then we have this problem that the brisa over there that says that your potter from kriyashma is only referring to the miut. So if you're only referring to the miut, we just said that we're going stam that roiver bekian. Why do we stam the brisa and say that it's mutter to have this bia? Because when we stam in a teaching, we're stamming karoiv, and therefore we can't now say that if you're potter mikriya shema, that's stam kamiut. Because the brother you're potter mikriya shema, who's potter from kriya shema? If you're an enobaki, so you're Torah. Since you're enobaki, you're Torah, and therefore you're potter mikriya shema. That's the miut. The enabakian umay kameshani hach perach yamu she'en baki asur lebol the roiv bakian hen. So therefore, you can't now switch here between it. We're going stam according to the roiv, and over there we're stam according to the miut. V'lo ari bahu ileni krishma ari bahu v'lakach perush to she'ena baki to kamar haka leini krishma hu dekodim ma'isa. So therefore, Tosfos comes up with this more convoluted idea that before the ma'isa of kriyashma, then he's not a baki, but he's a baki b'shas ma'isa, because then everyone's potter from Kriya Shema, and therefore the Kriya Shema is talking about the roiv. Because if you don't learn that way, and you learn that you just split up between the bakis and the Eina baki, so therefore we have a problem by Kriya Shema, because Kriya Shema says you're potter from Kriya Shema, and that would be going like the miut. So the Gemara continues. Amr le Rava bar Rav Chanan la Abaye. Ela ma'ata shoishvinen lama mappa lama. So what do we need the shoishvinen for? What do we need the mappa for? So we saw this before that they're meant to look at for the dam. So it says Rashi shoishvinen lama miyachar sheyesh bekiyin leboil below dam. Since there are bekiyin that have be without dam, ha detani lekaman ha you ma'adin lehen shnei shoishvin, that you get the two people to watch out for you. Echad lo v'echad la kadei l'mashes es a chatan es a kala. They are serving the chatan and kala to look at for the dam. Kloimar lebaker achareihem shelo yinagu ba ramayos, so that they don't trick each other. That he doesn't get the dam and then throws it away and says, "Oh, I was expecting a betsula and I didn't find one." So betanis besulim the imbakiyin. So now the question is like this: imbakiyin behatia mashashvin moil. So if people are a baki bahatia, then what are the shoishivim doing? They don't do anything because there's no blood, because of baki bahatia, and therefore she continues to be a basula, and therefore you have the bia, she's still a basula, and then you go to basin. So what's going on here? So mappa lama leverera asa basulam. You use the mappa, which will see the blood as you enter it into the doing a batika. But I'm taking a low gerson. We don't say lama mappa lama. And here, seemingly, according to how are we learning Rashi? Because if Rashi is that since River Biki and therefore it's simple to do and therefore everyone can do it, so then there's going to be blood and you need the shoishivim, because it's only a mikra that there's actually no blood. It's only it might happen that there's no blood. If it might happen that there's no blood, so therefore you're expecting there to be blood. So you want the mappa and you want the shoishivin to see that if the blood comes out, he doesn't chuck away the evidence. So they want to learn in Rashi here, and this is what Ritva was talking about last time, that it's mashma in the Rashi here, that it's only the people who are bahatia who are doing this this bia. But I'm not so sure it's mashma in the Rashi, because if it's only people who are experts in Atiyah who are doing the bia, so therefore there's not going to be any blood, and therefore you're going to have a whole shaila about dam. Where's the dam? What do I need what do I need them for? But since most people aren't experts, so therefore maybe you'll get dam, maybe you won't. So that's what the map on the choice of him for. But Rashi doesn't really include that in his question. Again, sheyesh bakiyin leboil below dam. It's just maybe the question is only on those who what do I need choice of him for the experts? Since Roiv are experts and they do be without dam, so therefore I'll be Roiv. What do I need the choice of him for? It's unclear here why really that Rashi is going against what he said before. Amrlei hatam shema yire v'yevid. So he said over there, maybe he'll see the blood and then he'll get rid of the evidence. So shema lo yite. So maybe he won't do the hatia v'yetze dam, and therefore now again here. So shema lo yite. If he doesn't do hatia, then the yotze dam. So if he does do hatia, so then no dam will come out. So again, is he only talking about bakim and a baki? V'yavedu, and then he'll lose the evidence. V'yamor lo matzati dam. He'll say I didn't find dam. De'ilu b'hatia im ba litoin tamar lo adayim basula ani. Because v'yamor lo matzati dam. Because if he did hatia, if he comes to say I didn't find blood, she'll say I'm still a basula. So that's how Rashi's explaining the sugya. This doesn't really like it. So what are the two things here? There's kind of 2 points going on. Is that the mappa will get the blood, and then the shoishivin and the mappa, if there's blood, so therefore they're there to check that he doesn't lose it, and if he does hatiya, maybe he'll just say, you are a basula, and she'll say, no, I'm not a basula because you did hatiya. So Toisvis, Elamiata Shushim Lama Mapalama, perish Bakontrus. Kaven Jehem Bakian Liboil, since they're a Baki Liboil, below dam without blood. Shema Yita, maybe they will Yita. Vihilo Tasika Daita, Shahata. And then she won't even think, she won't even know that he did it to you. And then he'll just say that she's not a basula. I didn't find any blood. She didn't even know he did it. She did it to you. Umishami, Shishoshim Mappa. Hem she'im lo yitayebo be'ila gemora, that if he does a proper bia without hatiya via abodamapa. So that's for the shoishivin and the mappa. And then we have a whole new teretz ve'im yita ve'yamar shalom atzala besulim yichol lomar dana besula ani. And then she can say that there's a hargasha, that she's able to actually feel this. Since she's able to feel this, so then she knows that he did the hatiya, and she'll say I'm a basula. So Riyaz Kasha Te'enu Mitaris Mamasha Hakshalo. The answer is not going on the question. And that the Gemara is Dahavi Lishina Demaska Adaita Laimer Adaim Basulani. Because she should have said at the end, the Gemara should have said, no, she can feel it. She can hargish the hatiya. She knows when the hatiya happens, or it's for somebody who doesn't do the hatiya. The ikar hatiya it's chosser in a sefer, and therefore the whole point of the switch in her going from not knowing when there's hatiya to know she does know where there's a hatiya, so it's completely missing. Venera Riki perish Rabbeinu Tam. So Re is going like Rabbeinu Tam. To Davka mi Shabbos kaparach. It's only Davka on Shabbos. They're asking the question. The mappa v'shoishivin lama d'tzarech leboil b'hatiya. Because on Shabbos you Davka. What do you need the mappa and the shoishivin on Shabbos? Because you Davka have to be boil b'hatiya. The other days you have kavana to boil gemora on chol, but on Shabbos, you have to have the kavana to boil b'hatiya. So therefore, what do I need the shoishivim for? So the rest of the week, you're going to have a gemora, and therefore there's going to be blood, and therefore you need them. So on Shabbos, you don't need the mashma d'cholim she'oisin shoishivim afilu b'Shabbos. Because it's mashma that it's not, because maybe you have an answer that no, the shoishivim aren't for Shabbos. No, but it's mashma you do it every day. Umashani shema yira shalo yited, because maybe he doesn't do the hatiya, even though he's supposed to do the hatiya, he didn't do hatiya, and he did be a gemora. V'yibol be'ila gemora, v'yaved adam besulim, v'havi duma detarid lemad parach nami mishabes. So above we've said that if you're tarid, why you potter from Kriya Shema? On Shabbos you're not doing bia, so therefore you're not tarid in Kriya Shema. So he says that it's the same kind of question as we have from Torah, there's Davka on Shabbos. So Rashi's learning it for all days of the week, and Tosfos is learning it Davka on Shabbos. So this goes into the Sukkos David. Ba Gemara Roiv Bakin Hein. So Perish Rashi Hokak Stam Alav Pasik Reishahu. Hainu Dekevin Sheroiv Bakin Hein came Zehu Simon Shadavar Kala. So since most people it's a simon, it just shows you that it's easy to do, and therefore even somebody who isn't an expert and he just Baal Stam, he doesn't have kavana for the hatiya, he doesn't have kavana for Bia Gemora, he's not a baki. Also maybe it'll happen to him. That's what the Ritva we saw in the Ritva. But Taisvas, he also Davka where you are makavan to hatiya, then you do hatiya. You can't just do hatiya by accident. So that's why he says on Shabbos you're trying to do it by hatiya, but the rest of the days you don't. Aval Baal Stama per Pesik Reishehu, but if you do a Baal Stam on the weekday, it's Pesik Reishe, and then it'll be Osir Va'ayin Toisa Devei Elimata. So we show Shagasu Shitzarach Lebol B'Hatiya on Shabbos. So why does Toisa say you have to boil B'Hatiya? Because if you were to boil Stam, it would be Osir. Because if it was much to boil whatever way you want, so you'd be boil whatever way you want. So B'Boil Stam of Pesik Reishehu, show Shagasu Shitzarach Lebol B'Hatiya. Who perish a marshal because the ifshar lebol b'hatiya filu leboki. Im lo shiskaven leka. Because even an expert, so the Marshal here explaining the Tosfos, even an expert, if he doesn't have kavana, he can't do hatiya. But stam, the bidiyas b'shitas, b'sikreishay, legabe petach, to efshar shibol b'hatiya minastam. So therefore you have to have kavana. In the world of Tosfos, you're never going to come up with a hatiya just by accident. And therefore his parish is everybody is safek if he's the Rav. So therefore how does he understand the whole din b'chlal is that he is misafek in the Rav and everybody is mutter. So see what he says, v'haksha de'im mish she'ena baki yeteru oto mishum Rav, that he's mutter becoming the Rav. V'halo yodea ba'asmo. How can we matter somebody because maybe he's a Rav? He'll know himself that he's from the Mios because he's not a baki. So therefore, how can the non-baki be able to matter himself in the Rav? It's Sarach Laimar. Dehu atzma ena yadua imhu baki or law. He himself, he has no idea if he is a baki or not. And therefore, you have to be toilet everybody in the Rav Bekim. So since you don't know if you're a baki or not, therefore you say mistamam from the Rav. Since you're someone from the Rav, therefore it's mutter for everybody. So it's mutter for everybody, both in Tosfos and both in Rashi, but they're two completely different reasons. Rashi is saying it's because even a non-expert is able to have that bia. But Tosfos saying that since you don't know yourself if you're a baki or not, so then you will toilet that taka you're from the Rav. So we move on. We have a Mesiv in the Gemara. Mesiv Rabbi Yami. Hamapis Mursa b'Shabbos. Im le sot lo pechaya ve'im lehoitzi mimeno leicha potter. So Rav Ami is bringing a kasha here. Hamapis Mursa. Rashi. Hapotech pe nefach shekorin klug. So you make a hole in a. So a mursa is like a pimple or a boil or some type of pus. You have a bowl of pus coming out of your skin. It could be a wart. These type of things. Im lasot lo pes. So you make a hole in it, and you make a pes. Shemiskaven liyafos. You make it so it's nice. And you have this opening for tomorrow. So you just make a hole in it. That hole will be nice for tomorrow. It says it's chayiv. Chayiv shehu metaken petach. So he makes a petach. V'chayiv mishom boina. And he's chayiv because of boina. The ashkaham binyan bebalechayim techtev v'yivin esetzela. Now this Rashi is a bit of a pella because two pages ago we were talking about having bia with a woman, and that bia with a woman we're making a pesach in her canal. So there we said that there's boina if you're making a pesach in her. So if there's boina runs a pesach, so then why does Rashi here we're saying we have binyan b'balechayim. So it says the pasuk says that Yivin Esesela, God built Chava from the ribs of Adam, but why is Rashi wait until this point in order to tell us that there's binyan b'balechayim? We need to have this binyan b'balechayim in the case of the woman. And here there's a big machlokas as to what exactly is the av malacha of the mapis morsa, and Rashi says that it's binyan. So here, since he says it's binyan, maybe that's the reason is to say that there is binyan with balechayim, because if you disagree, there's binyan with balechayim, so therefore you'll give a different reason as to why you're chayev for mapis morsa. Toises here, the pesach so it says that in the Gemara says that in order to be chayev for boina, you have to have a kanisa and a hotzia. It has to be able to enter and exit. If it's only to enter, it's only to exit, then that's not called binyan a pesach. So hachnis avir, the air comes in, and lahoitzi lecha, and that the pus can come out. So Tosis is explaining as to why you'd be chayev, you're chayev for bona. So mapis morsa b'Shabbos, if you want to make a peh, you're chayev im lahoitzi men lecha potter. Now in Shabbos we have this Amar Shmuel Kol potter de Shabbos potter aval aser. So when it says potter b'Shabbos, so just like here it says potter. So if you want to take out a leicha, if you want to take out the liquid that's in the pus, that's in the morsa, it's potter. So it says Shmuel potter Shabbos potter aval aser, except for these three, the potter umotter. So it's not a potter aval aser. So a classic example of potter and aser is Rabbi Shimon on Malacha Shein Shich L'Gufa. It's potter aval aser. So Chadahu umamai de potter umotter de katani seifa lama zetoimet lenoy las beita l'shomer. So this is going on the Mishnah. Ve'idech, the other one is a mapis morsa b'Shabbos im nasos lepechayev im hotzi mimene lacha potter. So potter. So how do we know that it's potter and mutter? So that's a potter and mutter. So now they're going back. Shmuel is saying that this potter is not potter v'aser, it's a potter v'mutter. So why is it potter and mutter? T'tanan machat shel yad litol ba et hakotz ve'i. So this machat shel yad, that you have a needle that you're taking out, a thorn out of your hand, there it is mutter. So we have this Shmuel saying that this is a potter v'mutter. So potter v'kailam potter v'mutter says Rashi lechetchila b'yitzias Shabbos. So that's kasha leman da'aser the hainami lehoitzi damhu. So therefore we have a question on here that since you are, so the kasha on the bia, this is the mesiv, that since the morsa is in order to take out the so Rashi here leman da'aser, which is Shmuel, the hainami lehoitzi damhi, that when you have the bia, you're taking out the blood, so therefore it should be potter. So if it's to make a pev, it's to make an opening, so therefore it's chayav. But if it's to take out leicha, to take out the pus, it's mutter lechatchila. So to here, since we're trying to take out the dam, it's mutter lechatchila. And the Gemara answers hatam paket ve'ikar, haka paket ve'lo ikar. So hasam gave leicha. So by the pus is from the boil. It's packet. So therefore, it's separate from the, it's like a picadon. It's separate from the guf, va'akir, and it's completely removed. Pakid koines biyachid. It's all together. Va'akil kulum in a basar va'oimid litzeis. There's no connection at all between the pus and the body. The pus isn't going back in the body. The pus isn't connected to the body. The pus is on its way out, so it's gone from the body. Haka, in the case of the woman, the dam besulim is pakid veloiker. So it's pakid. So it's together in one place, but it's not completely removed from the body. Nivla kitzat but kaselim. So it's swallowed up a little bit in the walls of the basulim. Yafo pisha enu mechuber, even though it's not mechuber to the guf, kashar dam, like the rest of the blood, so it would be completely choivel. Ha'averim ela koines mihu. It's connected it, but it's a bit like it's mechuber she'ena muchan. It says kalecha. It's not ready to come out like the pus is. So the pus is part of the body, but it's completely disconnected from the body, and it's on its own. It's completely separate to the body in its pus area of the boil, whereas the basulim is still connected to the body. And we said before, we asked about why is this not just a shaila mitzias, as to whether the dam basulim is chabura or not. So we said that it's kind of a halfway between the two. That it's not that it shares many things like blood of the limbs, and it shares many things not like the blood of the limbs, that it's separate. So it shares things like the pus, and it shares things like the aver. But the pus is not like the aver at all. The blood of the aver, that pus is it's out of the body, and it kind of separates from the body and whatever's going on inside the boil. So there's the answer that the difference between the mapis morsa is that it is separate, but the basulim, the dam basulim is included. It's still kind of part of the body. So Tosfos, V'im lehoitzi mimenu leicha potter. Beperak shmona shratzim. We say in shmona shratzim, moknim laka Rabbi Shimon. So we say that the reason this is the Gemara we saw. We say the reason that it is potter u'motter is because it's like Rabbi Shimon. So that it's Malacha Shalin Shricha. Rabbi Shimon is that he's potter Malacha Shalin Shricha Lagufa. We have a machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon in Malacha Shalin Shricha Lagufa. Rabbi Yehuda holds that it's aser, many hold it's also deraisa, and Rabbi Shimon holds that it is potter of al aser. B'sakataycha to Rabbi Ami. So Rabbi Ami who's asking this question. This is how he's holding. The Musaf. This is why he's asking the question. The dam makin pocket that the blood is pocket. It's not chavala. So again, we see in the terrors, it doesn't make sense if we're saying that the dam is a chayva. You have to say that the dam of the basulim is packed, just like the pus in the boil is packed. So the dam is separated from the rest of the body. For the dam hutzarach, he needs the blood to see if she's a basula or not. For lo the pesach, he doesn't need it for the pesach. He doesn't need to make a pesach in the woman. Afilo hachi aser shmuel karebi Shimon to have a malacha shenis rich lagufa. So therefore, making the pesach in the woman in the bia. This is why Rabbi Ami is understanding the Shmuel is aser bia on Friday night, bia lechatchila, because it's a malacha shenis rich lagufa. And it is potter of al aser to Rabbi Shimon. So that you have the heter, you have the dam is pocket, so therefore you're not doing a chabala, and you want the dam, so therefore you don't want the pesach, but the pesach is a malacha shenis rich lagufa. So therefore, but there he holds that it's aser, and here we have in the mapis morsa v'lahachi parach mi mapis morsa tikihechi de lehoitzi mimenu leicha potter. So just like we see that we're taking out the leich, even because the leich is a malacha shenis rich lagufa. For kaimalan the potter or mutter is not potter for aser, like we see in malacha shenis rich lagufa. But here by the mapis morsa, it's potter or mutter. Kaven de eino tzarich lepesach. Since you don't need the pesach, it's the malacha shenis rich lagufa. Afogav the shar malacha. Potter of al aser, even though other cases of malacha shenis rich lagufa is potter of al aser, but more so we get an extra bump and it's mutter lechatchila mishum tsar, because of the pain that the person is having on Shabbos, and therefore that we're makel and a malacha shenis rich lagufa, that we allow him to do this malacha shenis rich lagufa because of the pain. So hachanami by the bia on Friday nights. Mishum mitzvah havilan lemishri. So therefore, the question is, why is Shmuel asering like malacha shenis rich lagufa potter va'aser? You should say it's potter u'motter, because just like by tsar there is a potter v'motter lechatchila, so too by mitzvah should be potter v'motter lechatchila. Va'od afilo sharina mishum tsar tfei mishum mitzvah. So even if you want to say, I'll tell you why, because pain is better than a mitzvah. So therefore, the pain is mutter, but the mitzvah is still aser. Could appear as Rabbeinu Tam Na'al. As Rabbeinu Tam said before, we saw it in Hayim Abeis, the Dam Hutzarach. He said that the pain is bigger than the mitzvah. Parach Shapir, it's still a good question from Ravami, from the mitzvah. The Haka Vadai having Pesik Reishe Le'inyan Pesach. Because for sure, in the case of the mapis morsa, for sure it's pesik reisha for the Pesach. Ilav mishum tsar, have aser, and if it wasn't except for the pain, it would be aser. Aval abagbeila islan lemishri afogav de lekatzar. So therefore, by the bia we have a kula that we don't have by the mapis morsa. So mapis morsa has a kula of tsar that we don't have by the bia, but by the bia we have a kula we don't have by the mapis morsa. The cave and the law have a pesik reishe le'inyan Pesach, because it's not pesik reishe for the Pesach. Why not? Cave and the efshar the hoitzi dam below see is Pesach k'nemun kach la'ayel, as the Tosfos has said before, that you can take out the dam but you don't make a Pesach. So therefore, it's the dam hutzarech. You want to see if she's a basula or not. You can get out the dam. You don't make a Pesach, and therefore it's a davar shemis kava and it's not a pesik reishe. So that's the question according to Tosfos, coming from Rabbi Ami. Umesham, we answer haka pocket velo ikar. So here, even though we said that the dam besulam is pocket, here is pocket, but velo akir, the kasavar dam chiburi mechaber. We're holding that it's not completely removed from the guf and that it is making a chabura. So v'hu adin. So it seems like we're flipping, we're answering, and we're saying to Ravami that it's not pocket, it's a chabura. Since it's a chabura, that's why it's also. Because the dam hu tzarech, and therefore for chabura it's also. V'hu adin dahavi matzin l'shun. We could have said lepetach hu tzarech. We could have said that lepetach hu tzarech. Ela lefi mai de kimle de ledam hu tzarech. But Ravami asked from the whole point of ledam hu tzarech mishanine. Therefore we answer him back in that manner. So that's Tosfos's pshat in the Gemara, the Kashrus teretz. So in Tema, but Tosfos has big questions on this. Daha Shmuel b'malacha shein tzruch legufa savar Rabbi Yehuda. But this is a bit bizarre because Shmuel holds himself like Rabbi Yehuda, like we say in Perach Hanachachim of Perach Kol Hatal. We got two places where it's where we say that Shmuel is going like Rabbi Yehuda. So therefore, why are we saying that Shmuel is going like Rabbi Shimon? Why we're asking our question from Rabbi Shimon is holding that it's Osir, it's Potter. Rabbi Shimon holds that it is Potter for Osir by Melacha Shein Shruch Legufa, but he holds like Rabbi Yehuda where it's Osir Legamra. So therefore, how are you asking from Mapis Morsa? But the davar shein miskaven the shari Rabbi Shimon havile lakshuay. So Shmuel holds like in davar shein miskaven like Rabbi Shimon. So that's the type of case he should have asked from. But lo melacha shein shruch legufa. Not so we're asking from Mapis Morsa. What is the case of Bia? We're saying the case of Bia is not a melacha shein tzrich legufa. The Mapis Morsa is melacha shein tzrich legufa. But the bia is it's lav psik reisha. Kaven the roiv bekiyin, since most are baki by a bia, velo have a psik reisha. It's not a psik reisha, so therefore you should be asking the question from a case of davar shemis kaven, but not from because it's not a psik reisha. So therefore, why are you asking from a melacha shein tzrich legufa bechlal? So Tosfos brings out that this is the question, so maybe that's not the question. That's how it happens. Now Shmuel l'chayra over there in Shabbos when he explains this. So again, Shmuel, Amar Shmuel. Now Shmuel holds like Rabbi Yehuda, and he's explaining the Mishnah. The Mishnah says Potter. He says that our Mishnah is one of the three cases that says Potter u'Motter. So therefore, he brings down the case of Mapis Morsa, and he says that it's Potter u'Motter. Now there. The Pashi Pshat is that Shmuel is just explaining the Mishnah, and the Mishnah is going like Rabbi Shimon, and he's explaining why the Mishnah is mutter there according to Rabbi Shimon, but not that Shmuel himself actually holds of that. Now the Rambam Kol oisim malacha b'Shabbos efel b'shein etzarech legufa shel malacha chayev aleya. Right. So, it's the Pesach of the Rambam. See what this hay is. The Perakira, Malach Shein Tzrich Legufa, Savar Laka Rabbi Yehuda. So, that goes behind us is saying that the Rambam poskens that it's chayiv. Malach Shein Tzrich Legufa is chayiv because he poskens like Rabbi Yehuda. Now, therefore, what should he say by a Mapis Morsa b'Shabbos? Kedei laharchiv pi hamaka, kederech zerov moisei shehem miskavim b'refu laharchiv pi hamaka. Harei chayiv mishom maka b'patish, v'shizu hi melachas haroifa. So in the Rashi, that he said that it was because the Ashken binyan balechayim. So Rambam's not going like Rashi here. It's not binyan balechayim. So again, we're on this part of the Brisa of lasos la peh chayiv. If you make a peh, and Rambam says it's like the doctors do, so you're chayiv. It's only if it's to take at the lach that you're potter. Ve'im hefisa lahotzi mimen halecha sheba harei motor. So that's motor doesn't make any sense. Why is it motor? Malacha shein shruch legufa should be chayiv, because Rambam poskens malacha shein shruch legufa is chayiv. So here, we see the Rivet here. So he's going on on he's going like Rashi here, that it's not makab patish, but it's boina in the Balichayim. So this is the big question they have in the Rambam, that why is Mapis Mursa coming from? The Gemara itself is saying that it is Malach Hashem Shrich Leguf. Again, it's Potter. Why is it Potter? Because if it's Davar Shem Miskavin, so therefore it's Mutter, according to Rabbi Shimon. But why is it Potter? It's Potter because it is a Malach Hashem Shrich Legufa. So therefore, since it's Malach Hashem Shrich Legufa, Potter v'Mutter, Rambam who goes like Rabbi Yehuda, and the Mishnah is going like Rabbi Shimon. Therefore, the Rambam here should say that it's Asr. So that's the big question on the Rambam, and the simplest pshat is because he holds that it's Tavar Shemus Gavin and not a Malach Hashem Shrich Legufa. But there's reams and reams on this kasha in the Rambam. So weiter in the Gemara, Rabbi Ami shara lemiboil but tchila b'Shabbos. So Rabbi Ami, he was matir to be boiled but tchila b'Shabbos. So Amri le Rabbanan Maha lo kasiva v'lo habaha lo kasiva kasuva. So she didn't have a kasuva. Now the Posh Pashad is that if you don't have a kasuva, you're not allowed to have bia with your wife. That the kasuva makes it more difficult for you to kick the woman out and have a easy get. So the Chachamim were metaken, and you're not allowed to have bia with your wife unless you have a kasuva. So here in the Rashba, Amile Rabbanan, they don't have a kasuva. Davagav, Demisha lo kasav, Kamisha kasav dami. So even though they've done it, it's like they did write it. But gave a kasuva, mipnei shehu tanai based in. So it's a tanai based in to have a kasuva. So even if she doesn't have a kasuva, she still owed a kasuva. She still go and claim a kasuva in based in. So who cares? So mikom and kom, ihu lo samchataita, va'oisa beliz zanus. So she, I will not be samach das on this idea that she doesn't have a kasuva in front of her. So therefore, she will. It will be a biaznus because you don't have a kasuva. So here he's learning that that this bia will be a biaznus, even though they're married, will be a biaznus. They don't have the kasuva. Now again, I think the Tosis Arid here says that you see from here that you can get married without a kasuva. The Rambam postulates that you have to have a kasuva, but for getting married, but that's because he holds that you need a chuppah roy lebia, and since you don't have a kasuva, you can't have bia. So therefore, you need a kasuva before the chuppah in order to have a chuppah roy lebia. The Maisa, we have the kasuva before. We do it before because we make a break that you have. There are basically two hagafins. That there's a gafin that's on the kedushin, and then there's a gafin that's on the sheva bracha. So we make a hefsek between the two hagafins and read the kasuva there. But that's nothing to do with if you get married or needing a kasuva or anything like that. So do you need a kasuva to get married? So this Gemara is mashma not that way, but there are those who say that that they did a kasuva. Or it was Everson they had a kasuva, they just need a new kasuva for Nasuin. So Amar Lohu, so he says, no, it's okay. The reason that I married, I allowed them to get to have bia, is because Itpesei Mטלטלי. That she's able to grab some Mטלטלין. So grabbing the Mטלטלין, Tana lahu Mטלטלין, he gave her Mטלטלין, tachas yada, under her hand, but mashkon. So Rashi's learning that she gets a mashkon. L'shibud kasuva, so it's a shibud, that mashkon's enough in order to give her a shibud on the kasuva, so she has enough for her kasuva based on the items which he gave her. That gives her a shibud on the kasuva, ad sheyichtav shtar kasuva b'shibud karkayos. So she has a shibud on the kasuva, but she doesn't have shibud karkayos until she gets the shtar kesuva. Now the shibud karkas are better because you have hakdama. Because if for example, the value goes down of the mטלטלין, when you have the shibud of mטלטלין, other people can get a claim before you and things like that. But the shibud karkas is where you have, and also you only have, if I give 5% of my assets as a mashkon, so therefore she only has a shibud of 5% of the assets. If you give a shibud karkas, and therefore all karka is meshubud to the kesuva, and therefore there's and therefore you, let's say it's $100 and he has $1,000, so therefore you want to shibud on all the items, not just the specific items that are given that are in your hand. So Rashi's learning that you give the stuff to the woman as a mashkon. Now, there's a big question here: is how can you give your wife a mashkon on Shabbos? So here in the Ramban, Dāmar Rebbe Ami was a mטלטלין. Tamiya lan hare nimsa kakoine kinim b'Shabbos va'aser. You're giving her the mטלטלין. It's a kinyan on Shabbos. That's also what's going on. So the limninke beita b'Shabbos law that you can't give the house on Shabbos. Yeah, so there's referring to doing an erev chatzerus. So if you do an erev chatzerus, so then you can't give your house over on Shabbos. You have to do it before Shabbos. Efshar shemibnei mitzvah hetiru. So maybe because of it's a mitzvah they gave him kadamim ha migaresh v'tizol ihu v'ticha v'tiftach afal pi shehi koine b'Shabbos hetiru misham mitzvah dachulka. So a mitzvah that's being pushed, it's a dachuk mitzvah. So therefore it is it was mutter and they were matter. So the Ramban is learning that it's mutter because of a mitzvah. You can make a kinyan on Shabbos because of a mitzvah. So we have a Chadושי Aran. Yeshloimar the hakalo hiknu la mטלטלי. Didn't. There's no kinyan of the mטלטלין. The yichid ba'almahu. It's just giving it to her or saying that she can have it, but there's no actual kinyan involved. You put it in her room when you do something. So that she has a samach das, that she actually has some type of value, some type of something. But davar mud kazeh mutter. It's just something you're giving her. It's small. It's mutter. Inami yesh lo mitzvah hetiru. So completely different territories because of mitzvah. Therefore, they amar a letter because of a mitzvah. Aval ba'alma aser. So the Ran and the Ramban and others are learning that the reason that is mutter is because you can make a kinyan for Shabbos. So the Rashba, Amar lahu was mטלטלין. Lefakav d'tana b'perach isha. Shafel l'neschachim lo yimer adam li'ishto harei kesuvacha munecha la l'shulchan. So you can't tell a woman, here's your kesuva. I'm not going to give you a kesuva. I'll put it on the table and they go take it. You always have to owe it to her. Hakashayni, it's okay here because it's tzorch shahu ad moitzi Shabbos. It's only until moitzi Shabbos, and then you're going to write her a proper kesuva that is meshubed on all your assets. And if you say v'heichishar lives in mטלטלי, how can you actually do that? Ha'ein kinyan b'Shabbos. We say elsewhere le'inyan bittul rishus b'Shabbos b'shamay oisrim is a matter. And first time we went to b'shamay because mikna rishus he and mikna beisa b'Shabbos also. So that's you can't make an erev on Shabbos. So I mean now maybe Yerushalmi ain't so noshim b'Shabbos. So you can't get married to women on Shabbos. Why not? So the feature who could kind of kinyan b'Shabbos shezaych so you make a kinyan in things with your wife, so therefore it's dume to a kinyan, therefore it's aser. We also say ein mekachem b'yom tov, and also for sure to make a kinyan on Shabbos is aser. So haka lo hiknu lo hametatlin nakana gemura ele yichid ba'almahu. This is like the first answer of the Ran, which again is saying that there's no such thing. The Rashba is saying that there's no such thing as a kinyan on Shabbos misham mitzvah. We have similarly in the Ritzvah. So he starts off here with Yesha Purshu Shivas Yom. So this whole shaila happened on Erev Shabbos. Ilu b'Shabbos also l'soken. To have a leg, koine kinyan b'Shabbos, shehu aser, afilu l'davar mitzvah. So they're clear, afilu l'davar mitzvah is also to make a kinyan, says the Ritva. Elim came b'shas d'chuka v'gabi shachiv meira. So you have a shachiv meira, he's going to die, and therefore we made a special case for the guy in his deathbed that he wants to make a will, and therefore we allow him shalot to daiso alav. So he's on his deathbed, so we were makel on him. You don't need to. We're not actually making a proper kinyan, so it's not a proper mashkan. It's just that she will have some type of smichas das. The shoyel adam you can loan wine from someone. And if he doesn't trust him, so then he can leave his talis by him. So you're not making a kinyan. So on Shabbos, you can go, or on Yontiv, you can go and borrow somebody's wine, and if a guy doesn't trust that he's going to pay him for the wine, so therefore he can leave his talis by him. So that talis that he has by him, it's just a mashkan ba'alma. There's no real kinyan on it, and it's really the guy. It's the guys. It's just for smichas das, and therefore it's motor. So we have a maklokas as to whether you can whether you can make a kinyan on Shabbos for a mitzvah. So the Ran and the Ramban and people of who follow them say that you can make a kinyan on Shabbos if it's a tzorach mitzvah. So here is the case in the Igros Moshe, where he asks about the case of pidyon ben. Now the Trumas Hadeshin says that you can't make a pidyon ben on Shabbos because it's like mechach umemkar, that you're paying 5 shekels and you're getting your 5 sloim and you're getting your child in return. So it says that that's not true at all, and it's really just a there's no real option here of having your son, and it's really it's really a pidyon, and it's not like memkar at all. But according to the shittas of the Ramban and those who hold it, you can have a kinyan on Shabbos, the Shark Mitzvah. So therefore, why can't you have a pidyon ben on Shabbos? So the Igros Moshe says v'rak b'shul tzarach Shabbos. It's only if it's a mitzvah of Shabbos, that's the only time that you can make the kinyan. Lo gozru k'sheyishka af rak shinoi v'shaman levad v'chen pidyon ben af shehu piriim b'shinoi loshen keven she'ein tzarach Shabbos hu b'chal ha'isr af shehu tzarach mitzvah. So pidyon ben is a tzarach mitzvah, but it's not a mitzvah of Shabbos, and therefore we don't allow, even according to the Ramban, we don't allow that idea of that you can matter a kinyan on Shabbos, that matter a kinyan for a mitzvah. It has to be that you're mattering on Shabbos, and in our case, that they want to have the bia on Shabbos, the bia's mitzvah on Shabbos, and therefore it's a mitzvah Shabbos, and therefore they were matter the kinyan according to those shittas. Even though those disagree, they say even for a mitzvah it's also.